The Associated Press did an interesting new poll on religious freedom in America, and here are the findings. Quote, while 82% of Americans say that it's extremely or very important that Christians be allowed to freely practice their religion in the U.S., just 61% say the same for Muslims. 72% say religious freedom is important for Jews, and 67% say the same for Mormons, and 63% say it's important to protect the freedoms of people with no religion. All right, so that's really interesting, because who are the ones who are most hated in the U.S.? Atheists and Muslims. Just like other polls that we've covered when it comes to who would you not vote for? Who would you rule out first? People rule out Muslims, people rule out atheists. Those are the first ones that they rule out. And it's the same thing when it comes to protecting religious freedom, or in the case of non-believers, our non-religious freedom, so just our freedom to believe and act as we wish. We are the least popular. But obviously, in the country that's over 70% Christian, everybody's like, yeah, the Christians, they get freedom. Everybody else, I'm not sure. There's a big gap, man, over 20-point gap. That's a problem. And let's also be really clear about this. It depends what is meant by religious freedom, because oftentimes people take issues and then they claim it's my religious freedom to do X, Y, or Z, and it's really not. They're calling for the religious freedom to take away the freedoms of other people. So, for example, when it comes to Kim Davis and gay marriage, how she said, I'm a county clerk, I'm supposed to hand out marriage certificates, but it's my religious freedom to deny gay people the right to marry. No, I would say that that's not religious freedom. That is you taking away somebody else's rights, their freedom, under the guise of your religious freedom. So that just doesn't fall under that. And there are many examples. You only have the religious freedom to do things that coincide with secular law. So, for example, if you say, my religion allows me to sacrifice a goat and fuck its dead carcass, or my religion allows me to do ritual human sacrifice, I say, I don't give a shit. You're not allowed. You don't just get to hide behind religion and do whatever you want to do. No, it's got to coincide with democratic rule of law and constitutional rights. So it depends on what you mean when you say it, but either way, there shouldn't be a discrepancy between whether Christians get it or atheists and Muslims get it. It should be that everybody says, yeah, you all get it within reason. You all get it when your freedoms do not infringe on others' freedoms. All right, let me give you some more. Among Republicans, 88% say it's important that Christians be able to worship freely, and 60% say so of Muslims. 28-point gap on that one. Among Democrats, too, there's a gap, so Democrats aren't, just so much better. They're only a little bit better. 83% say religious liberties are important for Christians, and 67% say so for Muslims. So a smaller gap, but there's still a gap. Look, the reality is, man, we should all believe in secularism, and we should all believe in religious freedom, all of that within reason. So, this is a free country. If you want to be a Muslim, you could be a Muslim. You want to be a Christian, you could be Christian. You want to be Hindu, you want to be Buddhist, you want to be whatever. You could be all of that stuff. You want to be non-religious? Of course you have the right to be non-religious. And you can practice your customs and your traditions and whatever your culture teaches, as long as it coincides with the Constitution and as long as it coincides with secular laws and democracy. So everybody should have the right to do whatever they want to do, as long as they don't hurt anybody else or take away anybody else's rights. And that should be across the board for all different belief systems. That's the only rational position to take. And unfortunately, in this poll, you see, there is tremendous favoritism towards Christians, and there's a bias mostly against Muslims and atheists.